All right, so another video this week from the Brookings Arts Council. As always, my name is Shelby, and we're going to be doing tints and shades. So say you have the color red. You add white to it, you get pink, like my shirt, pink. That would be considered a tint. So a tint is a color that you add white to make it lighter. So think of pastel colors. A shade, think of like a shadow being pretty dark. So if you add black to red, you'd get kind of a maroon, which would be considered a shade. So something that you'd use for a shadow, so a darker color. So we're gonna do tints and shades, but we're gonna first do some ice cream cones and show our knowledge of tints and shades through that. So the first thing here, I'm gonna tell you about the supplies. So I just have a plain white piece of paper. I have a pencil. I have an eraser on the back of my pencil, and I do have kind of a white one here at my desk if that's better. I do have my colored pencils. If you prefer crayons or markers or paint, that's definitely up to you. It's completely your choice with how you want to use color. Just make sure that it's okay with your parents and you don't make a big mess. But for the first kind of step here, we're going to draw those ice cream cones. And so I'm going to start with kind of a skinny triangle towards the bottom of our paper a little bit. Just like so, just kind of like a skinny V. And then from there, we're going to start up on top with our ice cream cone. So at the top, the smallest kind of ice cream piece is at the top. So it has a round top, just like so. So I have my triangle down here, and then I started with my ice cream up on top. So I have my top piece. That bottom is scalloped. And so that just means that instead of one big hump, there's just a couple smaller ones. So just like so. So that would be considered a scalloped bottom with a round top. And then we're going to stack it on top of another one. And so we started on top so we didn't have to erase. The next step, we're going to draw kind of two pieces down like so. So instead of having a round top, since this one's sitting on top, we just draw those two lines, and we're going to scallop the bottom again for that second kind of ice cream piece. And you'll connect them there. And then you're going to do the exact same thing again. So one more time. Ice cream on top. So that again, and you're going to scallop again on the bottom. And then if your cone doesn't quite meet, you'll kind of add some lines there to connect the ice cream cone to the ice cream itself. I'm going to fix some of my lines. And so remember before we talked about tints and shades. So whatever color you want to use for tints and shades, I'm going to have you use the darkest one on the bottom. So that would be considered our shade, correct? And then you'll get lighter as you get closer to the top. So this would be red, this could be pink, and then you could do a lighter pink or even white up here. Or you could start with like maroon, go to red, and then go to pink. So you could start with your regular color here, mix it with black down here, mix it with white up here. Up to you, but I just want it to be kind of a gradient or a value scale, as we would consider it, of color on your ice cream cone. Also, if you want kind of a waffle cone, you can add some of those lines on your cone down below. But as far as tints and shades go, again, shades, think of shadows and how they're darker. And think of tints as you're adding like a tint, so it's lighter. So that's what I have for you this week. If you have questions, concerns, suggestions for future videos, you can always reach out to the Brookings Arts Council. I'd love to hear from you. But that's all I have for you today. So have a good evening.